Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi everyone. I've been following this program. Um,
Thank
I
you.
live in the UK.
I think this is your first time coming on because I don't think I've seen your face before.
Yes, this is my first time, but I have a cousin who is always on your show, Timmy.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So my name is Michael. Um, so I just have some things to say. The first thing I saw is that the list came out before this week. So this list will have been out by last week. They were just keeping it because they didn't release the 39 on time. So the only way they can explain it is to release one on the weekend and quickly release. Because if you look at the time difference between the 39 list and the 23 list, you will see that it's short.
Yeah, just a week.
So the time that the 39 list was out, the 23 list was already out. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to
No,
say.
I
So I'm
understand.
trying to say that before Saturday, they have this list. So some of the players that we see that have come back from injury, I believe that maybe the coach was not really sure until he sees them play, to bring them in. That's one.
Mm.
So two is that I believe that there is a communication gap because we have had different times when Yama was injured when we used to play in France, and then they will speak to them, and then they will come and they still play. You see, so I believe there is a communication gap that the coach also has to work upon too. The fact that a player is injured does not mean that player is going to spend a long time, especially with the advancement we have in medicine now. They know what to do to fix all these things. So if you go by different department, you'll see that um, if the list was actually released today, then a player like Okoye, for example, would play. That's what I believe in. And then if you go to the midfield, defense, it will have been better that we had seven. So I would have sacrificed the spot of Sadiq Kumar for sure,
Mm.
so that we have seven defenders. And if what Smith Lai used to say is correct, then I think that we should have had eight midfielders. If you be going by diamond formation, we should have eight midfielders, and then probably six strikers or three strikers and three wingers. Because if we go by diamond formation, you need to have a like for like in each of the four rows, and then you can have Ademola Lookman, for example, and Osimhen. And if you remove them, you can still have Simon and Boniface. You see, so you can still replicate that. So you can have three strikers, three wingers. And then if you want to revert to 4-3-3, you can still use two wingers, a striker, and then your three midfielders that stay there. So I think that I don't know how these things happens. These guys are coaches, but if you are intelligent enough, you will see that there's a comma. There's a comma in that because there's no way you play a game without having enough defenders.
Mm.
In fact, it's better you have more defenders than strikers sometimes because you can score and then you need to defend if your defender gets injured. So, I would say that we are Nigerians. There are quota systems in these things. You mentioned not saying enough. I studied. I was in medical school in University of Abuja before I left to go and complete my training in Ukraine. So I know how they picked us. So they picked us by region. We were going to University of Abuja. You will have expected that the best of us would go, but you will see that they will say, if you are from Ondo State, this is your score. I'm from Ondo State, so my score has to be high. So when I'm scoring 80, 85 over 100 to be picked in University of Abuja to go into medicine, you see somebody from Nasarawa who is scoring 53. being picked, and a guy from Akure that has got 77 is out, and then you pick a guy from Nasarawa because everybody has to. It doesn't make sense. So there's no real competition in Nigeria, and that's why we are failing. That's why we're lagging back. So it's also showing in our football. There's no way you can justify the inclusion of Umar. There's no way you can justify it. So if you, I know for your own program, you will not want people to blacklist you, but we know that we Nigerians, we do those things right. I'm here in UK now, and I'm enjoying medicine here. These are the reasons why we go. I was one of those guys who will call for strike. I will not deceive you. When I was a resident doctor in Nigeria, I will be the first to say we are going on strike, because why would you do things this way when other people, and when you come to the NHS, the doctors there are no more brilliant than we are. But we are seeing why they are doing better, because there is good organization, there is good structure. This is what we also need in Nigeria. In fact, while I was schooling in Ukraine, in every of the sets that you see, before I got to the school and when I left, there's always a board where they write the 10 best students in each set. You will see out of the 10, 7, 8 will be Nigerians. Then you will see maybe one Indian that is always reading in the library. Then maybe you will see one guy from Poland, or you will see one guy from UK. But you see 7 Nigerians. Feel I can bet I can beat my chest to say that in a medical school. But the same Nigerians, give them 10 years, give them 15 years. You see that guy who was not even on the board and is from Poland, will be doing marvelous later in the next 20 years, will be doing better surgeries than the best in a set who was a Nigerian. Why? Because there's no structure, because we don't do things the right way. So we regress, we retrogress at the end of the day. And this is what is happening with our football. So for Mr. Adedotun, quota system has been in Nigeria for a long time. In fact, when Keshi tried to break it in 2013, they called that Eagles. They say Igbo Eagles. I don't know if you have heard it before. They say Igbo Eagles. That was the first time I heard that term. So why? Because he refused to pick the Northerners, and he refused to pick some people from the West. I'm from the West. So they said it's Igbo Eagles. So I would not want to take your time so much. Just know that there is quota system, and unfortunately, Eric Chell cannot beat that until he plays the politics with them. So that was what Genethro did. Genethro played the politics properly, and then he was able to now pick his team, and Nigeria went to his peak. So maybe Eric Chell is taking a leave from Genethro, and he's saying, okay, you have to play the politics and then assert your team at the end of the day. Thank you very much for the
All
opportunity.
right. Thank you very
I'll
much,
believe you.
Michael.
Yeah.